Today's review is for what I think a lot of people consider an iconic roller coaster. This is the roller coaster that you'll find at the New York Hotel in Las Vegas. It is currently called the Big Apple Coaster, however you may know it as the Manhattan Express or just the roller coaster. Now, look, I always try to see the good in everything. I think there's so many rides that may not be pleasant, but there's always something good about it. I'm just having the hardest time trying to find the good in this ride. I mean, look, this thing looks nice, but I mean, this is a sucky ride, guys. I didn't think it was any good at all. And I hate to sound so negative, but honest to goodness, this is just a crappy roller coaster. First of all, it costs $14. No, it is not worth it. And it costs even more if you want to ride it more than once, which I don't know who would want to do that. I mean, I rode it once, and really, I don't feel the need to ever ride it ever again. So you're probably wondering, okay, what's so bad about it? So first of all, this is a Togo. It's the last one in the United States. So that is something that's kind of neat. Kind of historic for coaster enthusiasts. Anyone wanting to ride a Togo and doesn't want to go to Japan can come here. But I think there's a reason that this is the last Togo left. And frankly, I don't think I'd really care if the New York chose to tear this thing down. Again, yes, I think a lot of people, when they think of the New York, they think of the roller coaster winding around it. So I think it is very cool, but the actual ride experience is just terrible. I would much rather just watch it. You know, just look at the train going around the track, think about all the pain that people are in. So yes, this coaster is painful. Main reason for that is because of the restraints. This has a lap bar and an over-the-shoulder restraint. Yeah, it has both. So there's problem number one. The shoulder things absolutely are brutal. You'll leave with a neck ache and a headache. And I think Togo just isn't very good at track profiling. If you look at the way some of these turns are, they just don't appear natural. They aren't smooth. They're very jerky, random, abrupt, and not comfortable. So that's one thing. And then if you want to look at the ride layout, this is probably just one of the most random layouts of any roller coaster anywhere, which that isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think for coaster enthusiasts, we're kind of like, wait, okay, this coaster is 200 feet tall, so it should be a hypercoaster, except it features inversions. Why are the inversions there? It doesn't make any sense. It's almost like the people who designed this thing didn't know a thing about roller coasters. This thing basically defies what every roller coaster should be. The first drop is not the largest. It has airtime hills, but doesn't actually have airtime. It has some jerky and out-of-place inversions. So I think if I was trying to look for the good in it, it's a long ride, and normally that would be a good thing, but I think this is one of those rides that you're like, oh, come on, why does the bad ride have to be long? How come the good rides aren't long? Now, if you're enjoying the experience, and let's say you're a member of the general public, you don't really ride too many roller coasters, you probably won't mind that it's rough, and you'll like that it's a longer ride. I was surprised to hear some people got off this thing and enjoyed it, and I think that's great. If you like it, good for you. I didn't. But that's also coming from someone who's ridden lots of roller coasters. So I think, long story short, if you've ridden tons of roller coasters, you'll probably get off this thing and say, what the heck was that? Yeah, I'll pass on riding that again. It's just a mishmash of weird elements. It's not smooth. The restraints are probably some of the worst on any roller coaster I've ever seen. But it actually does a decent job at theming. I mean, the train is a taxi cab. They've got some New York type theming in the station, and of course it's winding around New York City. So the theming actually isn't bad. And it goes over the parking lot. I mean, there's plenty of those in New York. So I think for my final score, I'm going to be giving this thing a 2. Yes, that is a very low score, but I think it's just because, I mean, I hate to be blunt, but I honestly think this is one of the worst roller coasters ever created. I rode in the front seat, and I thought it was terrible, so I imagine if you ride in the back, it's probably going to be worse. So if you are looking to get the coaster credit, I would choose the front seat. But I guess just to wrap this thing up, that is my review for the Big Apple Coaster at the New York Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I want to hear your thoughts on this thing. Have you ridden it? Did you think it was terrible? If not, and you actually liked it, I would love to hear your reasons for it. From what I've heard, many people hate this thing, so if you get a good ride on it, I think that's actually a rare thing. Normally it's a rare thing if you get a bad ride on a coaster, but I feel like getting a bad ride on this coaster is pretty normal. So if you've had a good experience on it, I'd love to hear why you thought it wasn't too bad. But if you are new to Coaster Studios, you can check out other reviews I've done. I promise, normally they are not this negative. I have an entire playlist full of coasters, not just bad ones, but good ones too. So please, I encourage you to check those out. And of course, you can stay tuned for more. Thank you guys so much for watching.